commend every one of you for being here today, because you know that this has nothing to do with politics. This is civic responsibility. The Constitution of the United States is not political. Life is not political. God is not political. The Ten Commandments are not political. America is not political. And our health care should certainly not be political. A lot of generations of people who have tried to convince us that these things are political. And they're called politicians. And we do not need any more of those. But for us to really understand, especially in the Christian community, we know we want to go out there to our Christian friends and say, hello, Mr. Live! So if we want them, then we're going to have them understand this is not politics. Because pastors have become slaves to the collection plate and use the word politics to get away with it. They either stand up on principles or they don't. They are leading their flocks astray. Yes. We have got to get to those people, and we've got to help them realize this is not political, it is just right. Yes. That's right. So I have a couple of definitions for you. Okay? Definitions that will help you in convincing your Christian friends, our Christian friends, that we're not just nutty Christians, but that, or whatever religion we are, but that we really get what this is. The first definition is politics. I wrote these definitions myself, that's my disclaimer, and I would like to tell you that I have the personal experience to back up every one of these definitions. Okay. Politics is a product of pride, worldliness, and a lust for power. Amen? Amen. Okay. Civic responsibility, on the other hand, is that responsibility and that duty which every American has as a citizen of this country to respect the law, be involved in our communities, preserve the Constitution, safeguard the Republic, watch over our government, and seek out and elect good leaders to represent us. Politics is the result of what happens when not enough of us fulfill that duty. That's why we are where we are. All right, so now that we know this, okay, we're awake. Great, we're all here. We get this. Now what? How do we get rid of them? What are we looking for? That is the most important definition that we can share with our fellow men. There is a big difference between what we have right now and what we want. So let me give you two more definitions. A politician is a person who lusts for power, is obsessed with self-importance, and motivated by greed. Politicians have been groomed in politics. They learn the artful craftiness of deceit, the clever tactics of scheming to get gain and win votes, and the cunning methods of distraction, distortion, denial, and blame shifting. Politicians will say and do whatever it takes to keep and add to their power. They are motivated by self-preservation and personal gain and put their own interests above the people they serve. Politicians will vote for anything they feel benefits them, regardless of how their constituents feel or whether or not it is in the best interest of the country. Politicians are self-serving individuals who hold little regard for God or country and feel no loyalty or affection for the people they serve. I have been in their offices. I have heard them. I know this is who they are. However, they're not all this way. There may be few, but there really are some good people who are out there serving in elected office. We cannot call them politicians. There are a lot of definitions that have been given. Republican, Democrat, conservative, liberal, progressives. I really like that one. But to clearly define, to take parties out of this, to remove color, race, religion, ethnicity, everything from this and make it all about America, we have to clearly define this as politics and civic responsibility, politicians, and statesmen. A statesman is a person of integrity and high moral character who possesses a strong desire to serve others, recognizes his or her imperfections, and tries to overcome them to be the best person that he or she can be. Statesmen have been trained in humanity. They learn the moral code of right and wrong, the positive attributes of honesty, humility, patriotism, accepting responsibility, and the selfless standards of love thy neighbor, the golden rule, and country before self. Statesmen are people of faith who believe in a supreme being and a future state of rewards and punishments. They research issues carefully and do their best to vote in the best interest of the Republic and the people they represent, even if it means losing votes. Statesmen cherish freedom and liberty, have a deep affection and concern for those they serve, and feel a profound sense of duty and loyalty to their country. They live their faith, reverence their God, and respect the faith of others. Now, there are people who will say, well, you know, those are kind of broad definitions, you know, kind of way out here and way out there. You know, I have an elected official, you know, he's like 80% a statesman. 80% I'm with him 80% of the time. So I have a question for you. Those of you out there who are married, would you like your husband or wife to be 80% faithful? No one ever says yes to that question. All right, so what we've got here is a clear, defining understanding of what it is we're looking for and how the heck do we find them. How easy is it to look at a bunch of commercials where someone looks pretty, sounds good, and tells you whatever you want to hear to figure out exactly who they are? It's not so easy. So the candidates nights that Warren does are brilliant. Oh my gosh, I sat through every stinking hour of those things. I was so fascinated. Fascinated. If I was in the 18th district, I'd be like, I know who I'm voting for in that race. A couple of years ago, it's like last year, oh my gosh, it's time. In 2009, I went in to vote. I was so proud of myself because I knew who all the candidates were. I knew exactly who I was going to vote for. I volunteered for most of their campaigns. I went in there and I'm like, check, 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 school board. Oh my gosh, I forgot that one. School board is the most oppressive form of government in our nation, and who is paying attention to it? I would like to encourage you to run for those offices, and I want you to know just how important I think those offices are. In 2004, when I founded Homemakers for America, one of the main reasons was to provide information to voters on Election Day. Who the candidates are and where they stand on the issues. And so, for the last 5 years, we have been testing out the Abigail Adams Project in Dayton, Ohio, in Montgomery County, which is a really good test study. We have got just about everything you could possibly imagine on the demographic scale, from money to race to religion, you name it. It's a little melting pot of the country. And it's been a really good test study, and we've figured out who the American voter is and how we can help them. In last October, I felt really strongly because of this movement, because of this powerful movement, we had the ability to launch this project nationally, but it scared me to death because I knew what that was going to mean. My husband was in Iraq. He was going to be coming home. We were going to be moving to Hawaii, and I have all these things running through my head. There's no way, how can we possibly do this? But I really, really felt led to do it. And so I thought, okay, all right, it's not that I'm questioning God, but I wanted to make sure. Okay, so I decided to test the waters. Don't move, it's not a lightning bolt thing. So I called in to the Glenn Beck show, and I just mentioned the Abigail Project and what it's about. He was thrilled with the project. And for 3 days, I knew for sure the waters are warm. Because for 3 days, all I did was answer phone calls and emails to people all over the country who wanted to know how they could get involved and how they could make this project happen. Because of that, we were able to organize, out of the 50 states, we now have 28 state coordinators. They are organizing counties, and we have been sending candidate questionnaires in primary elections to the candidates. They fill out these questions, they tell us who they are, and then we provide it to you in voter guides. And you can do that right now in Ohio. Now, here's the thing. We can only do it based on our volunteer support. So if we have a county coordinator, we can activate that county. And that county coordinator is our link to get everybody mobilized, to make sure the candidates are getting the info's getting back, and then we get it to the voters. We do it on the website, and we provide downloadable voter guides that you can take to the polls on Election Day and then